This is in-depth study of the Christ, the propitiation, the begotten Son, the law, the judge, the ruler, the standard, the Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach, the one, the true Jesus Christ. Here on Understanding the Bible Radio, on Screen Study, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, on screen undeniable facts of Scripture.
Understanding the Bible Radio, this is Ron Saxton. Thank you for joining me. Going to go into more of the Book of Enoch. Book of Enoch. We were left off at page 60. Last time, I want to thank you guys for stopping in and joining me. I want to say hello to, Aquissa and Mike. How you doing, man? Good to see you guys. Good to see you. You guys can like it, share it. It's totally up to you. Totally up to you. Like it, share it. If you've missed the last ones, you got to see what's going on in that Book of Enoch. It is free. It's online. You can read it and study it for yourself. This is live study. This is not a sermon. Live study. Right online. Didn't do it previously ahead of you guys. I didn't look at nothing to prepare anything. I'm just doing live study. It's that simple. That's just that simple. All right. So the last time we saw even detail about the people that will not be going in. Yeah, they're not going into the heaven, kingdom of God, whatever. They're not accepted by him. They are rejected. They're sent down to hell. So we saw deep things about that. We saw Noah praying, and then Enoch coming to Noah and talking to him about the flood and all of the different things and all this stuff that he was going to, we saw it in the last part. That's part 7. Yeah, check it out. It's on Understanding the Bible Radio, YouTube, and it's on Ron Saxton Facebook and the Understanding the Bible Radio Facebook. So it's there and it's free. God is not for merchandise. I'm not selling anything and won't sell nothing. All right. Not charging anything. So there you go. It's free. We got left off at the book of the courses of the heavenly luminaries. Let me try to see if I can get a little bit more blown up on this. No. Okay. Let's do this. How about that? That's a little better, I think. Maybe you can see everything on your device. We're at the book of the courses of the heavenly luminaries now. So let's see what we've got on this that he wrote down and left for us. Let's see what we can get. The book of the courses of the luminaries of the heaven, the relations of each according to their classes. Let me try to bring this up a little more. Let's see. Yeah. According to their classes. All right. Their dominion and their seasons according to their names and places of origin, and according to their months, which Uriel, the holy angel, who was with me, who is their guide, showed me, and he showed me all their laws exactly as they are, and how it is with regard to all the years of the world and unto eternity, till the new creation is accomplished, which dureth till eternity. Yeah, you're talking about that, the where we all trying to get to, that eternity. Yeah, that's what we're trying to get to. Only through his son. And this is the first law of the luminaries. Here it is. The luminary, the sun, S-U-N, has its rising in the eastern portals of heaven, and its settling in the western portals of heaven. And that's something. Portals of heaven. Portals, it says, which is pretty cool. It's portals. All right. And I saw 6 portals in which the sun rises. And 6 portals in which the sun sets and the moon rises and sets in these parts. And the leaders of the stars and those whom they had led 6 in the east and 6 in the west, and all following each other in accurately corresponding order. Also many windows to the right and left of these portals. And first there goes forth the great luminary, the sun, the sun, and his circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and he is quiet, filled with illuminating and heating fire. The chariot on which he ascends, the wind drives, and the sun goes down from the heaven and returns through the north in order to reach the east, and is so guided that he comes to the appropriate lit, that portal, and shines in the face of heaven. In this way he rises in the first month in the great portal, which is the fourth, those 6 portals in the cast. And in that fourth portal, from which the sun rises in the first month, are 12 window openings, from which proceed a flame when they are opened in their season. And when the sun rises in the heaven, he comes forth through that fourth portal 30 mornings in succession, and sets accurately in the fourth portal in the west of the heaven. And during this period the day becomes daily longer, and the nightly shorter to the 13th morning. Sounds like summer, doesn't it? On that day, the day is longer than the night by the 9th part, and the day amounts exactly to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. And the sun rises from that fourth portal and sets in the fourth, and returns to the fifth portal of the east 30 mornings, and rises from it and sets in the fifth portal. And then the day becomes longer by 2 parts, and amounts to 11 parts, and the night becomes shorter and amounts to 7 parts. And it returns to the east and enters into the 6th portal, and rises and sets in the 6th portal 1 and 30 mornings on account of its sign. On that day the day becomes longer, and the night than the night, and the day becomes double the night, and the day becomes 12 parts, and the night is shortened and becomes 6 parts. And the sun mounts up to make the day shorter and the night longer. And the sun returns to the east and enters into the 6th portal, and rises from it and sets 30 mornings. And when 30 mornings are accomplished, the day decreases by exactly 1 part and becomes 11 parts, and the night 7, the night 7. And the sun goes forth from that 6th portal in the west, and goes to the east, and rises in the 5th portal for 30 mornings, and sets in the west again in the 5th western portal. On that day the day decreases by 2 parts and amounts to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. And the sun goes forth from that 5th portal and sets in the 5th portal of the west, and rises in the 4th portal for 1 and 30 mornings on account of its sign, and sets in the west. On that day the day is equalized with the night, and becomes of equal length, and the night amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts. And the sun rises from that portal and sets in the west, and returns to the east, and rises 30 mornings in the 3rd portal, and sets in the west in the 3rd portal. And on that day the night becomes longer than the day, and the night becomes longer than the night, and the day shorter than day till the 13th morning, and the night amounts exactly to 10 parts, and the day to 8 parts. And the sun rises from that third portal and sets in the third portal in the west and returns to the east. And for 30 mornings rises in the second portal in the east, and in like manner sets in the second portal in the west of the heaven. And on that day, the night amounts to 11 parts, and the day to 7 parts. And the sun rises on that day from that second portal and sets in the west in the second portal, and returns to the east into the first portal for 130 mornings, and sets in the first portal in the west of the heaven. Kind of like Earth, isn't it? Our sun rises in the east and sits in the west. And on that day, the night becomes longer and amounts to the double of the day, and the night amounts exactly to 12 parts, and to day 6, and the day to 6. And the sun has therewith traversed the divisions of his orbit, and turns again on these divisions of his orbit, and enters that portal 30 mornings, and sets also in the west opposite to it. And on that night has the night decreased in length by a 9th part, and the 9th has become 11 parts, and the day 7 parts. And the sun has returned and entered into the second portal in the east, and turns on those his divisions by his orbit for 30 mornings in rising and setting. And on that day, the night decreases in length, and the night amounts to 10 parts in the day to 8. On that day, the sun rises from that portal and sets in the west, and returns to the east and rises in the third portal for 130 mornings, and sets in the west of heaven. On that day, the night decreases to the amounts of to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts, and the night is equal to the day, and the year is exactly as to its days, 364. I think we go with 365, don't we? And the length of the day of that of the night, and the shortness of the day and of the night arises through the course of the sun. These distinctions are made, literally, they are separated. So it comes that its course becomes daily longer, and its course nightly shorter. And this is the law and the course of the sun, of his return, as often as he returns 60 times and rises. The great luminary, which is named the sun, forever and ever. And that which thus rises is the great luminary, and is so named according to its appearance, according as the Lord commanded. As he rises, so he sets, and decreases not, and rests not, and runs day and night, but his light is 7-fold brighter than that of the moon. But as regards size, they are both equal. Okay. Chapter, I want to say 68, not sure. Let's take a look. Are we at 68? I think we are. 50. That's 57. No, it can't be 57. Okay. L XXII. That's it. $73. Okay, that's where we are. 73. I was like, it can't be. Just want to make sure. I'm not too big on them Roman numerals. Way too far back in grade school for that. All right. After this, I saw another. We're still dealing with the luminaries and the seasons deal. After this, I saw another law dealing with the smaller luminary, which is named the moon. And her circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and her chariot in which she rides is driven by the wind, and light is given to her in indefinite measure. And her rising and setting change every month, and her days are like the days of the sun. And when her light is uniform, full, it amounts to the seventh part of the light of the sun. And thus she rises, and her first phase in the east comes forth on the 30th morning, and on that day she becomes visible, and constitutes for you the first phase of the moon on the 13th day, together with the sun in the portal where the sun rises. The S-U-N now, that's not the S-O-N. And the one half of her goes forth by a seventh part, and her whole circumference is empty, without light, with the exception of the 1/7 part of it, and the 14th part of her light. And when she receives 1/7 part of the half of her light amounts to 1/7 part and the half thereof. And she sits with the sun, and when the sun rises, the moon rises with him and receives the half of one part of light. And in that night, in the beginning of her morning, in the commencement of the luminary day, the moon sets with the sun and is visible that night with the 14 parts and the half of one of them. And she rises on that day with exactly a seventh part, and comes forth and recedes from the rising of the sun. And in her remaining days, she becomes bright in the remaining 13 parts. And I saw another course. This is number 74. This is chapter 74. I saw another course, a law for her, and how according to that she performs, and according to that law, she performs her monthly revolution. And all these, Uriel, the holy angel, who is the leader of them all, showed to me and their positions, and I wrote down their positions as he showed them to me, and I wrote down their months as they were, and the appearance of their lights, till 15 days were accomplished. In single seventh parts she accomplishes all her light in the east, and in single seventh parts accomplishes all her darkness in the west. And in the certain months she alters her settings, and in certain months she pursues her own peculiar course. In 2 months the moon sets with the sun, and in those 2 middle portals, the 3rd and the 4th, she goes forth for 7 days, and turns about and returns again through the portal where the sun rises, and accomplishes all her light, and she recedes from the sun, and in the 8 days enters the 6th portal from which the sun goes forth. And when the sun goes forth from the 4th portal, she goes forth 7 days, until she goes forth from the 5th and turns back again in 7 days into the 4th portal, and accomplishes all her light, and she recedes and enters into the 1st portal of in 8 days. And she returns again in 7 days into the 4th portal, from which she goes forth. Thus I saw their positions, and how the moons rose and the sun set in those days. And in 5 years were added together, the sun has an overplus of 30 days, and all the days which accrue to it for one of those 5 years, when they are full, amount to 364 days. And the overplus of the sun and of the stars amounts to 6 days. In 5 years, 6 days every year come to 30 days. And the moon falls behind the sun and stars to the number of 30 days. And the sun and the stars bring in all the years exactly, so that they do not have or delay their position by a single day unto eternity, but complete the years with perfect justice in 364 days. In 3 years, there are 1,092 days, and in 5 years, 1,820 days, so that in 8 years, there are 212 days. For the moon alone, the days amount in 3 years to 162 days, and in 5 years she falls 50 days behind, to the sum of 1,770 days. There is to be added 1,062 days. And in 5 years there are 1,770 days, so that for the moon the days in 8 years amount to 2,832 days. For in 8 years she falls behind to the amount of 80 days. All the days she falls behind in 8 years are 80, and the year is accurately completed in conformity with their world stations and the stations of the sun, which rise from the portals through which the sun rises and sets. 30 days. We're at 75. And the leaders of the heads of the thousands, who were placed over the whole creation and over all the stars, have also to do with their four intercalary. That's what I'm understanding. That's the first time I ever read that word. Intercalary days, being inseparable from their office, according to the reckoning of the year, and these render service on the 4 days which are not reckoned in the reckoning of the year. Wow. Hey, I want to say hello to Karen. How you doing, Karen, for stopping in? This is the book of Enoch, man. That's some serious stuff. How it's going on up there. The portals for heaven, the sun. They got a sun, moon that shines through there. That's something. Let me see. Where am I? What did I do? I missed my place, I think. Okay, we saw the moon. 75. Where was I at? Yeah, right here. Okay, good deal. Wow, this is serious. Some serious stuff going on up there. How all this is set in place, and owing, I want to say, to them men go wrong. Hold on one second. Yeah. Okay, no, 75. Let's see. 80 days in this year is accurately completed in conformity with their world stations and the stations. Yeah. Okay, we did that. Okay. And the leaders of the heads of the thousands, who are placed over the whole creation and over all the stars, have also to do with the four. Yeah, the I can't say it. Yeah, we did that one. Inseparable from their office according to the reckoning of the year, and these render service on the 4 days which are not reckoned in the reckoning of the year. And owing, okay, I want to say owing, because I think if you put a FL on it, it's flowing. So owing to, or knowing, to them, men go wrong therein, for those luminaries truly render service on the world stations, one in the first portal, one in the third portal of the heaven, okay, and one in the fourth portal, and one in the sixth portal. And the exactness of the year is accomplished through its separate 364 stations. Ooh. That's some serious detail that's going on up there. I mean, come on, man. And we're worried about our little stuff. Wow. For the signs and the times and the years and the days, the angel Ariel showed to me, whom the Lord of glory has set for ever over all the luminaries of the heaven and in the heaven and in the world, that they should rule on the face of the heaven, okay, face of the heaven, and be seen on earth, and be leaders for the day and the night, the sun, the moon, the stars, and all the ministering creatures which make their revolution in all the chariots of the heaven. Okay. In like manner, 12 doors Uriel showed me, open in the fourth circumference of the sun's chariot in the heaven, through which the rays of the sun break forth, and from them is warmth diffused over the earth. When they are opened to their appointed seasons, and for the winds and the spirit of the dew, when they are opened, standing in the open heavens at the ends. As for the 12 portals in the heaven at the ends of the earth, out of which go forth the sun, moon, and stars, and all the works of heaven in the east and in the west. So this which sheds some light on this. Is the earth round? Is the earth flat? Da 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 da. And then how they try to be in the universe and showing how the flat earth looks and then the round earth looks, or whatever. I've always kind of thought, well, it's just a different realms. It's a different realm, and when we see it as round. Truly, still, they think we've taken pictures of the earth from the moon. And I'm going, how in the world did they get past the radiation bands around the earth? Nothing living, no mammal or living organism can get through those radiation bands. If they did get through them and then came back through them again, I don't know how John Glenn was still living, being able to live until he's a senior citizen and being old, because the other countries have tried. And we seem to be the only country that has gotten a human being outside of those radiation bands all the way to a planet that doesn't have any atmosphere at all, sat down on it, walked on it, took these pictures of Earth, took the photos of Earth all the way at the moon, and then we put a flag on it, supposedly walked on, and came back. Back in the 60s now, and came all the way back through those radiation bands. Not even the atmosphere we're talking about. We're talking about the radiation bands. How does the space station stay in orbit around the Earth? How? How is it possible that it stays? There's a fuel. They keep a fuel there to keep the thrusters going constantly to keep it in. Something's not right. How do the satellites stay in orbit? Did we ever wonder about that? I'm just saying. This is some serious. This is different. I think it's just different realms, different dimensions. And without you having the ability to go to another realm or dimension to be able to look and see Earth, you will not see it in the true way that God sees it. God sees it in a whole different way. Well, he created it all, and he set forth the different realms or dimensions that you're able to cross through. It's hard enough to get outside of the radiation bands. Why aren't we sending people to planets instead of robots? Why? That's what I'm wondering. First of all, we got to get outside those radiation bands that is holding everything in orbit, all the space junk up there. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. But studying this, I'm seeing portals of heaven, portals, and then from the portals of heaven it shines down, or the sunlight shining down through the earth there. Come on. To the earth at its appointed time. Come on, man. This thing is much bigger than our little problems here. This thing is seriously some things going on. This is serious. Wow. Just to go through that, and then the day cycles of heaven. It's just wow. All right. There are many windows open to the left and right of them, and one window at its appointed season produces warmth corresponding as these do to those doors from which the stars come forth according as he has commanded them, and wherein they set corresponding to their number. And I saw chariots in heaven, running in the world, be above those parts in which revolve the stars that are never set. Running in the world, above those portals, which revolve the stars that never set. And one is larger than all the rest, and it is that makes its course through the entire world. It's not talking about the earth there, okay? It's talking about the creation. World is also a cosmos, a creation portion or whatever, as you can see. But yeah, what you guys think, man? Post it up if you can. What do you think? Yeah, this is some serious stuff. All right. And at the ends of the earth, I saw 12 portals open to all the quarters of the heaven, from which the winds go forth and blow over the earth. 3 of them are open on the face, the east of the heavens, and the 3 in the west, and 3 on the right, the south of the heaven, and 3 on the left, the north. And the 3 first of those of the east are 3, and 3 are of the north, and 3 of those on the left of the south, and 3 on the west. Through 4 of these come winds of blessing and prosperity, and from those 8 come hurtful winds. When they are sent, they bring destruction on the earth and on the on the water upon it, and all who dwell thereon, and on everything which is in the water and on the land. Wow. Storms of destruction, the winds, hurtful winds, they're sent down from where? Portals of heaven. And the first wind from those portals, called the east wind, comes forth through the first portal, which is in the east, inclining towards the south. From it come forth desolation, drought, heat, and destruction. Wow. And through the second portal, in the middle, comes what is fitting. And from it, there come rain and fruitfulness and prosperity and dew. And through the third portal, which lies toward the north, came cold and drought. Kind of set up like it is here, with the north winds here, that kind of deal. When the wind comes from the north, it's usually a cool front coming down. And after these come forth the south winds through 3 portals. Through the first portal of them, inclining to the east, comes forth a hot wind. Southern winds, tropical, south winds, yeah. Warm front usually comes from where? The south, yeah. And through the middle portal next to it, there come forth fragrant smells, and dew and rain, and prosperity and health. Through the middle portal, okay? And through the third portal, lying to the west, come forth dew and rain, locusts and desolation. That's the third one. And after these, the north winds from the 7th portal in the east come dew and rain, locusts and desolation. And from the middle portal come in a direct direction, health and rain and dew and prosperity. And through the 3rd portal in the west come cloud and hoarfrost. and snow and rain, and dew and locusts. These locusts are sticking around here. And after these four are the west winds, through the first portal adjoining the north come forth dew and hoarfrost and cold and snowfrost. And from the middle portal come forth dew and rain and prosperity and blessing. And through the last portal, which adjoins the south, come forth drought and desolation and burning and destruction. And the 12 portals of the fourth quarters of the heaven are therewith completed, and all their laws and all their plagues and all their benefactions have I shown to thee, my son Methuselah. Yeah, this is getting serious, man. This is some serious stuff right here. I mean, what do you guys got? Anything? You guys, what do you think? Wow. Serious. It's serious. Let's see here. Let's get some more. I want to get some more. What is 76 we're at? 77? Let's see. Just to make sure. No, I think this is... That's 77. Yep, 77. Good deal. And the first quarter is called the east because it is the first. And the second, the south, because the Most High will descend there. Wow. That's serious. The first quarter is called the east because it is the first. And the second is the south because the Most High will descend there. This is the first quarter. All right. Yea, they're in quite a special sense. Will he who is blessed forever descend? And the west quarter is named the diminished because there all the luminaries of the heaven wane and go down. And the fourth quarter, named the north, is divided into three parts. The first of them is for the dwelling of men, and the second contains seas of water, the abysses and forests and rivers and darkness and clouds, and the third part contains the garden of righteousness. And I saw 7 high mountains, higher than all the mountains which are on the earth, and thence comes forth hoarfrost, and days, seasons, and years pass away. And I saw 7 rivers on the earth, larger than all the rivers. One of them, coming from the west, pours its waters into the great sea. And these 2 come from the north to the sea and pour their waters into the Eutherian, sea in the east, Eutherian sea. And the remaining 4 come forth on the side of the north to their own sea. 2 of them be to the Etherian sea, and 2 into the great sea, and discharge themselves there. And some say, into the desert. 7 great islands I saw in the sea and in the mainland, 2 in the mainland and 5 in the great sea. Okay. 78. But this says 77, chapter 77. We just did chapter 77, didn't we? Yeah, look. Maybe that's a typo there. Supposed to be 78, I thought. Yeah. The sun and the moon, the waxing and the waning of the moon. And the names of the sun are the following. The first, I want to say Orgers, and the second Tomas. And the moon has 4 names. The first name is Asanya. I want to say Asanya or Asanja. The second is Ebla. The third, I want to say Benesi. And the fourth, I want to say Ire, I want to say. These are the 2 great luminaries. Their circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and the size of the circumference is both is alike. In the circumference of the sun, there are 7 portions of light, which are added to it more than to the moon. And in the definite measures, it is S transferred till the 7th portion of the sun is exhausted. And they set and enter the portals of the west, and make their revolution by the north, and come forth through the eastern portals on the face of the heaven. And when the moon rises, 1/14 part appears in the heaven, the light becomes full in her. On the 14th day she accomplishes her light, and 15 parts of the light are transferred to her to the 15th day, when her light is accomplished according to the sign of the year, when she becomes 15 parts, and the moon grows by the addition of the 14th parts. And in her waning, the moon decreases on the first day to the 14 parts of her light, on the second to 13 parts of light, on the third to 12, on the fourth to 11, on the 5th to 10, on the 6th to 9, on the 7th to 8th, on the 8th to 7, on the 9th to 6, on the 10th to 5, on the 11th to 4, on the 12th to 3, on the 13th to 2, on the 14th to the half of a seventh. And all her remaining light disappears wholly on the 15th. And in certain months, the month has 29 days, and once 28. And Uriel showed me another law. When the light is transferred to the moon, and on the side it is transferred to her by the sun. During all the period during which the moon is growing in her light, she is transferring it to herself. When opposite to the sun, during 14 days, her light is accomplished in the heaven. And when she is illumined throughout, her light is accomplished in full in heaven. And on the first day she is called the new moon. This is in heaven now. It's not on earth. For on that day the light arises upon her. She becomes full moon exactly on the day when the sun sets in the west. And from the east she rises at night, and the moon shines the whole night till the sun rises over her, and the moon is seen over against the sun. On the side whence the light of the moon comes forth, there again she wanes, till all the light vanishes, and all the days of the month are at an end, and her circumference is empty, void of light. In 3 months she makes of 30 days, and at her time she makes 3 months of 29 days each, in which she accomplishes her waning in the first period of time, and in the first portal for days. And in the time of her going out, she appears for 3 months of 30 days each, and for 3 months she appears of 29 each. At night she appears like a man for 20 days each time, and by day she appears like the heaven, and there is nothing else in her save her light. 78, I do believe. 79, I'm sorry. Yeah, 79. Recapitulation of several of the laws. Recapitulation of several of the laws is what it says. Several of the laws. Yeah. What you guys got? Anything? Anybody? Thank you for the love, Monique and Karen. Appreciate it. Let me know you guys are out there, because all I can see is, I want to say, Aquisa, Mike, and Karen. That's all I can see. I see Monique there. Thank you, Monique. Thanks for stopping by. And hit the like, love button. Let me know you guys are there. Got a few more minutes left. Let's go and get one more. Let's get one more, and we'll get out of here. Going to come back a little bit later with what did Jesus say? And what is it? Part 5, part 6, one of them. I'm on what did Jesus say? Coming back with it a little bit later. And Helena's supposed to jump by. Supposed to drop by. She wants to talk about some stuff in depth. She's been going in depth on some stuff, man. The conversations are just in depth. The fellowship we do is getting more and more in depth in her stuff. She's been studying some stuff up, so she got some stuff she want to talk about. So I told her, wait until the study. Wait until it's live, okay? So let's see. And now, my son, I have shown thee everything. This is it. Now, we're not getting everything he showed him right here, because we were only able to translate parts of the document, okay? Parts of his findings, of his things he wrote down. Okay, so it's not everything. But he says, and now, my son, I have shown thee everything, and the law of all the stars and of the heaven is completed. And he showed me all the laws of these for every day, and for every season of bearing rule, and for every year, and for its going forth, and for the order prescribed to it every month and every week. And the waning of the moon, which takes place in the 6th portal, for in this 6th portal her light is accomplished. And after that, there is the beginning of the waning. And the waning, which takes place in the 1st portal in its season, till 177 days are accomplished, reckoned according 2 weeks, 25 weeks, and 2 days. When she falls behind the sun and the order of the stars exactly 5 days in the course of one period, and when this place which thou seest has been traversed, such is the picture and sketch of every luminary which Uriel, the archangel, who is their leader, showed unto me. 80? We at 80? I think so. And in those days, the angel Uriel said unto me, behold, I have shown thee everything, Enoch, and I have revealed everything to thee that thou shouldest see, this sun and this moon, and the leaders of the stars of the heaven, and all those who turn them, their tasks and times and departures. Right? Perversion of nature and the heavenly bodies owning to the sin of men. Okay, I'm not gonna read it. You guys can read it right now. I'm not gonna read it. I'm gonna start off next week on this one, because we're just about there. It's 50 minutes in, so it's just about there. Because I'm gonna want to go into this one. I'm gonna want to go into it. I'm telling you, on this one. The next one, perversion of nature and the heavenly bodies, owning to the sin of men. Wow. Page 68. Page 68. I can't wait. Can't wait for that one. Wow. I don't know if I can wait till next Sunday for this one, but man, I'm not going to study it. I'm going to wait. As I always do. I just wait. I'll jump back on a little bit later with what did Jesus say? Go and look into some things that he said. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to find out exactly what we can get done there. And talk about what Jesus really said. You know, we're forgetting what he said. We're starting to listen to everybody else instead of let me take a look and see what he has said. That's very important. That's what we need to do. We can also see exactly what he means because we have definitions from the Greek and Hebrew, which we show right here on Understanding the Bible Radio. Yes, we do. We show it right here. So if we're reading a scripture and the scripture is translated from that and we've got the definitions, then what does that tell us? That tells us that we need to be looking at the definitions because that's where the translations of the English King James comes from. And now we got all these new versions. Oh, this is what this means. And now in the current English, well, the current English meanings have changed. So we need to go back and see what those originals are. And that's what we do right here at Understanding the Bible Radio for free. Yeah. Tons of studies on the YouTube, Understanding the Bible Radio. Subscribe, hit that notification button, whatever have you, the bell, so that you can get notifications when we put on the new studies. And go through the archives. Hit the video link section there to go all of the videos we've got, over 750, I think, or 40 or 60, something like that. Tons of them. Still going, not going to stop until I just can't do it no more. All right, so I'm going to be back, man. I'll be back a little later. Talk about what did Jesus say right here. Live on Facebook, YouTube, Understanding the Bible Radio. I'm going to see you guys. See you around. Peace.
Please allow us to extend our deepest thanks, our humblest appreciation, our greatest gratitude for your fellowship here with us, sharing the letter of the gospel, the ancient definitions of Scripture. This is Understanding the Bible.